There is a country on the map that most people can point to, but few truly understand. It is the size of the state of Iowa, yet it holds more people than Russia, more than all of North America combined. It is a land shaped not by stone, but by water, carved over millennia by three of the world's greatest rivers, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Meghna. Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated places on Earth. And yet, if you have never been, you may not know its name. Say Bangladesh to most people in the Western world, and they think of flooding. They think of poverty. They think of headlines. They do not think of the woman who wakes before sunrise in a village near Sylhet to brew tea from leaves she picked herself the day before. They do not think of the fisherman in Barisal who knows every mood of the river the way a father knows his child. They do not think of the student in Dhaka who stays up until midnight studying, not because he has to, but because he refuses to let geography decide his future. This is not a story about statistics. This is a story about life, about what it truly means to live in Bangladesh, day by day, season by season, generation by generation. Over the next 20 minutes, we will travel across this extraordinary country together, from the floodplains of the north to the mangrove forests of the south, from the ancient streets of old Dhaka to the tea-covered hills of Sylhet, from the factory floors of Narayanganj to the longest natural beach on earth at Cox's Bazar. We will see where people sleep, what they eat, how they pray, how they mourn, how they celebrate, and why, despite everything, they stay. This is Bangladesh, and it is unlike anything you have imagined. To understand the life of Bangladesh, you must first understand the land itself. Because in few places on Earth does geography shape human existence so completely, so intimately, as it does here. Bangladesh sits in the northeastern corner of South Asia, bordered almost entirely by India, with a short border to the east shared with Myanmar. To the south lies the Bay of Bengal, a vast, restless body of water that Bangladesh has been in conversation with for thousands of years. The country is essentially a delta, a great breathing, shifting delta formed by the confluence of the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Meghna rivers. Water defines everything here: the shape of the land, the farming seasons, the roads people travel, and the homes people build. In the northwest, in the districts of Rajshahi and Rangpur, the land flattens into ancient alluvial plains. Here, the soil is among the most fertile on the planet. Farmers have worked these fields for centuries, growing rice and jute and winter vegetables in a rhythm tied closely to the monsoon calendar. Move east into the Sylhet region, and the landscape transforms entirely. The lowland plains give way to rolling hills draped in tea gardens that stretch as far as the eye can see. Sylhet is Bangladesh's tea country, a region of mist, rain, and extraordinary natural beauty, where the air itself carries the scent of wet earth and freshly cut leaves. Further south, the great rivers begin to split into dozens, then hundreds of channels. This is the Sundarbans Delta, a maze of waterways, mangrove forests, and tidal islands shared between Bangladesh and India. The Sundarbans is home to the Bengal tiger, spotted deer, crocodiles, and hundreds of bird species. It is one of the last truly wild places in South Asia. On the eastern edge of Bangladesh, near Chittagong, the terrain rises into the Chittagong Hill Tracts, a forested mountainous region that feels entirely different from the rest of the country. Here, indigenous communities have lived for centuries, maintaining languages, customs, and ways of life that predate the modern nation entirely. And then there is Cox's Bazar, in the far southeast, home to the world's longest natural sea beach, 121 kilometers of unbroken shoreline, swept by winds from the Bay of Bengal. Bangladesh is not one landscape, it is many, and the people who live within it are shaped by each one differently. Every day in Bangladesh begins early. In the capital, Dhaka, the city wakes before the sun. By 4:30 in the morning, mosques begin to call the faithful to prayer. The sound carries across rooftops, through open windows, across river crossings and alleyways, threading through the city like a living thing. By 5 o'clock, tea stalls are already open, rickshaws are already moving. Dhaka is one of the most densely populated cities on Earth. Over 20 million people live within its boundaries, and every one of them must navigate the extraordinary daily challenge of simply getting from one place to another. The city's streets are unlike anywhere else. Rickshaws weave between buses, buses squeeze past trucks, trucks inch past pedestrians who have long decided that traffic laws are merely suggestions. The sound is constant. Horns, engines, vendors calling, children laughing, radios playing. It is chaos at first glance. But look carefully, and you begin to see the logic. A kind of collective negotiation happening 1,000 times a minute, all day long. Outside of Dhaka, daily life unfolds at a very different pace. In the river towns of Barisal, life moves with the water. Ferries connect communities that would otherwise be entirely isolated. Families board boat after boat to reach markets, hospitals, schools. The river is not just scenery here, it is infrastructure. In the rural districts of Mymensingh and Dinajpur, morning begins in the fields. By 6 a.m, farmers are already at work, tending rice paddies, driving cattle through narrow paths between plots, hauling water from shallow wells. In villages throughout Bangladesh, agriculture is not simply a livelihood. It is identity. Midday brings the heat. In the summer months, the temperature climbs above 35 degrees Celsius. Work slows. Meals are eaten under the shade of banana trees, or inside homes where the walls stay cool longer than the air outside. The afternoons belong to children. Across the country, in the alleyways of Dhaka, on the floodplain paths of Rajshahi, along the narrow lanes of Khulna, children play the same games with extraordinary invention. Cricket played with a broken bat and a taped ball. Football matches on mud pitches that flood every rainy season and return every dry one. Evenings in Bangladesh are communal. Tea stalls, known as cha-e-dokan, become the gathering places of the nation. Men sit together, drink tea, debate politics, discuss the price of rice, mourn losses, plan weddings. By 9 o'clock, most of Bangladesh is quiet. The lights in small homes go out one by one. The rivers whisper. The crickets begin. And tomorrow will start the same way it always has. Home in Bangladesh looks different depending on where you are standing. In the cities, in Dhaka, Chittagong, Narayanganj, it often means a small apartment in a tall building, shared between many family members in rooms that have learned to hold more than they were designed for. 3 generations under one roof is not unusual. It is normal. It is expected. It is preferred. In smaller cities like Camilla or Sylhet, homes tend to be more spacious. Many have small courtyards where children play in the afternoons and where the evening meal is prepared over open flame. Sylhet, because of its long-established connection to the Bangladeshi diaspora in the United Kingdom, often features homes that carry a fascinating architectural blend, traditional construction with modern additions, built by families sending money home from abroad. In rural Bangladesh, in the villages of Rangpur or the river islands near Barisal, homes are often built with bamboo and corrugated tin. They are practical. They are light. They are easy to rebuild after a flood. These homes are not poor. They are intelligent. Designed by generations of people who understood precisely what the land would ask of them each monsoon season. Family structure in Bangladesh is deeply hierarchical, not in a cold or rigid sense, but in a warm, interlocking one. The eldest carries authority. The youngest carries indulgence. Parents are cared for in old age not by institutions but by children, who consider it not a burden but a natural debt. Children grow up surrounded by uncles, aunts, cousins, and grandparents. The concept of a nuclear family, 2 parents, 2 children, separate home, separate life, is a recent and still largely urban phenomenon. In most of Bangladesh, the family is an ecosystem. Women, particularly in rural areas, are the hidden architects of the household. They manage finances, raise children, maintain relationships with neighbors, and often make the most consequential decisions of family life. quietly, without ceremony. In a society that sometimes limits their visibility, their influence is enormous. This is not a culture of isolation. In Bangladesh, no one eats alone who does not choose to. If there is a single thing that can take you to the heart of any culture, it is the food. And in Bangladesh, food is a language. The foundation of every Bangladeshi meal is rice. Bhat, steamed white rice, forms the base around which everything else is arranged. Lentils, fish, vegetables and curries orbit it like satellites. It is eaten twice a day in most homes, more in some. To offer someone rice is to offer them hospitality. To refuse it is to create a small but noticeable rupture in the social fabric. In the coastal city of Chittagong, fish is the soul of the kitchen. Eilish, Hilsa fish, is not just food in Bangladesh. It is a national symbol, cooked in dozens of ways, steamed in mustard oil, smoked over open fire, wrapped in banana leaf. When Hilsa season arrives each year, it is discussed with the kind of reverence that other cultures reserve for harvests or religious events. Move north to Dhaka, and the food changes character entirely. The streets of old Dhaka are a monument to culinary history. Bakar Khani bread, still baked in the same manner as it was during the Mughal era. Biryani cooked in huge copper pots over wood flame. Shingara, crisp golden pastry triangles filled with spiced potato, sold from carts that appear at exactly the right moment every afternoon. In Sylhet, the tea culture creates its own food rituals: biscuits with tea, paitha, rice cakes, in the cold months. The tea estate communities have their own food traditions, their own markets, their own seasonal rhythms. In the Rangpur region, winter brings mustard greens and the thick yellow oil pressed from mustard seed, a staple that flavors almost everything in this part of the country. Rice and mustard and fish. The combination repeats endlessly across the northern plains, as reliable as the seasons themselves. Food in Bangladesh is also deeply tied to religion. Eid brings biryani and roasted meat shared among neighbors, given to those in need, prepared with an extravagance that is, in itself, an act of gratitude. Ramadan reshapes the rhythm of eating entirely. The pre-dawn sehri meal, the sunset breaking of fast at iftar, with dates and fried foods, and the particular sweetness of a day's abstinence ending. To eat in Bangladesh is to participate in something much older than the meal itself. We are halfway through this journey, and we have not yet talked about the thing that makes Bangladesh run, the engine beneath the surface, the work that sustains 170 million people and sends its goods to every corner of the world. Stay with us, because what comes next may genuinely surprise you. Bangladesh is not simply surviving, it is building. The story of Bangladesh's economy begins, in many ways, in the garment factories of Dhaka and Narayanganj. These factories, tens of thousands of them, employing millions of workers, manufacture the clothes that fill the world's closets. The labels inside the shirts and jeans sold on shopping streets in New York, London, Paris, and Sydney very often say, "Made in Bangladesh." The ready-made garment industry accounts for more than 80% of Bangladesh's total export earnings, and the majority of its workforce is women, young women from the districts of Comilla, Tangail, and Jamalpur, who have migrated to the capital in search of wages that, while modest by global standards, represent a genuine transformation of their own economic lives. Their remittances support entire villages back home. In the coastal belt near Chittagong and Cox's Bazar, the economy moves on the back of fishing and maritime trade. Chittagong port is among the busiest in South Asia. Container ships move constantly through the Bay of Bengal, carrying Bangladeshi goods outward and international commodities inward. The port city has a particular energy, industrial and international at once, shaped by salt air and commerce. In the agricultural heartland, in Rajshahi, Bogura, and the rice-rich districts of the north, farming remains the dominant livelihood. Bangladesh is one of the world's top producers of rice, and the rice harvest season is a moment of profound national activity. Thousands of seasonal workers move between districts. Machinery and human labor work side by side in the paddies. In Rajshahi, there is another industry that has sustained the region for centuries: silk. The Rajshahi silk, soft and lustrous, is woven on wooden looms in homes and workshops throughout the district. Weavers pass the technique from parent to child with a precision and patience that no factory has ever managed to replicate. Beyond garments, fishing, and farming, Bangladesh has a powerful remittance economy. Millions of Bangladeshis work abroad, in the Gulf states, Malaysia, and the United Kingdom, and the money they send home is the country's second largest source of foreign income. This invisible pipeline of capital is what built many of the new houses visible on the roadsides of Sylhet and Kumilla. Bangladesh's economy is not perfect. Income inequality is significant. Informal labor is widespread, but the growth has been consistent. And in the workshops of Narayanganj, in the paddies of Rajshahi, in the trading streets of Chittagong, there is a palpable forward-moving energy that does not belong to a country standing still. Bangladesh is a country in which the calendar is never empty. The Bengali New Year, Pohela Boishakh, is celebrated on the 14th of April. In Dhaka, it is perhaps the most spectacular secular celebration in the country. Tens of thousands pour into the streets of the university district, dressed in white and red, wearing flowers in their hair, carrying hand-painted clay toys, listening to music that has been sung on this land for centuries. The celebration begins before dawn and does not end until the streets themselves demand silence. In Sylhet, the tradition of Sufi music runs deep. The region is home to some of Bangladesh's most revered shrines, and on certain nights throughout the year, devotional music, called baul or mafati, fills the air around these sacred places. The songs speak of love, longing, and the divine presence that Sufi tradition says lives inside every human being. The singers, often wandering poets, carry no home but their music. In the coastal communities near Cox's Bazar, fishing culture creates its own calendar of events. The departure of fleets at the start of the season is marked by prayer, by garlands placed on boats, by the cooking of special foods. The return of the fleet, when the catch has been good, is celebrated with a particular intensity. These are communities that understand risk and reward at a deeply personal level. In rural Bangladesh, across the plains of Mymensingh and the river islands of Barisal, weddings are the axis around which social life turns. A wedding in Bangladesh is not a one-day event. It can last 3 days, with each day marking a different ceremony. The Gaya Holud, a turmeric ceremony of vibrant colour, the formal wedding itself, and the reception to follow. Entire neighbourhoods are invited. Cooking begins days in advance. Eid ul-Fitr and Eid ul-Adha punctuate the year with moments of collective joy and generosity. New clothes are purchased. Graves of loved ones are visited. Food is prepared in enormous quantities and shared with every neighbour and every family in need. The social contract of Eid is observed with an almost architectural precision. And through all of it, through all the festivals, the music, the ceremonies, and the shared meals, there runs a single thread: community. The Bangladeshi understanding that you are not alone, that your life happens in relation to the people around you, is perhaps the defining cultural fact of this place. Bangladesh does not ask for pity, but it deserves honesty. This is a country that lives on the front line of climate change. Not metaphorically, literally. The same river systems that give life to Bangladesh's delta also carry the capacity for destruction. Every monsoon season, between June and September, large portions of the country flood. In an average year, 1/5 of Bangladesh is submerged. In a difficult year, it can be 2/3. In the coastal districts, in Satkhira, in Barguna, on the low-lying river islands of the Meghna estuary, flooding is not simply inconvenient. It is devastating. Crops are lost. Homes are swept away. Families are displaced, sometimes permanently, toward the edges of cities that were not built to absorb them. Cyclones arrive from the Bay of Bengal with a regularity that the people of this region have learned to read, to prepare for, to survive. Bangladesh has made extraordinary advances in cyclone preparedness. Warning systems, shelters, evacuation protocols, and the death toll from major storms has fallen dramatically over the past 3 decades. But the threat has not diminished. The sea is rising, the storms are strengthening, and the land continues to erode. In Dhaka, the challenges wear a different face. The city is overcrowded in ways that strain every system: transportation, sanitation, housing, water, electricity. Millions of people live in informal settlements in neighborhoods that grew faster than infrastructure could follow. Poverty, while declining significantly over the past 2 decades, remains a reality for a significant portion of the population. Access to healthcare, particularly in remote areas like the Howrah wetland districts of Sundarbans or the island communities of Pola, remains unequal and often insufficient. These are not comfortable facts, but they are part of the story. And the remarkable thing, the thing that will become clear before this documentary ends, is how a country this tested can remain this alive, this determined, and this forward-facing. Bangladesh is a country in the middle of a transformation, and it is happening fast. In Dhaka, the skyline that 20 years ago was defined by low-rise buildings and open sky is now crowded with towers, glass office buildings, shopping malls, wide highways, infrastructure that would have seemed fantastical to a resident of the 1990s. The Dhaka of today has food delivery apps, co-working spaces, and young entrepreneurs launching startups earning international attention. The mobile phone changed Bangladesh profoundly. In a country where the fixed-line telephone network never reached most villages, the mobile phone arrived and leapfrogged an entire generation of infrastructure. Today, Bangladesh has over 180 million mobile subscriptions. Digital banking, particularly through platforms like bKash, allows people in remote Har villages to send and receive money without ever setting foot in a bank branch. But drive 2 hours from Dhaka in almost any direction, and you will find villages where time moves differently. Where the handloom weaver in Tangail still follows the same technique his grandfather taught him. Where the rice farmer in Bagura plants by the same lunar calendar his ancestors consulted. Where marriages are still arranged with the careful deliberation of families who understand that they are joining not just 2 people, but 2 entire social ecosystems. In Sylhet, the diaspora influence creates its own fascinating tension. Families who have lived in the UK for decades return each year and find a city both familiar and entirely changed. New buildings, new roads, new restaurants, but the same azan at dawn, the same smell of mustard oil from the kitchen, the same specific way that older relatives ask, without asking, whether you have eaten. Traditional crafts, the muslin weaving of Narayanganj, the Nakshi Kantha, embroidered quilts of Jessore, the Jamdani fabric recognized by UNESCO, exist in a complicated relationship with modernity. Revivalist movements, government programs, and the growing pride of a younger generation in their cultural inheritance are keeping these traditions alive. But they survive in a world of mass production that makes every handmade thing both more precious and more precarious. This tension between the new and the enduring is not a crisis in Bangladesh. It is a conversation, one that the country is having with itself, loudly and creatively, every single day. After everything we have seen, the floods, the overcrowding, the poverty, the challenges that would break the spirit of any country less tenacious than this one, there is a question that demands an answer. Why do people stay? Talk to a farmer in the villages outside Rajshahi, and the answer comes without hesitation. This land, he will tell you, fed my father. It fed his father. It will feed my children if they are patient enough to listen to it. Talk to a garment worker in Narayanganj, who left her village at 19 to earn her own money, who sends half of every paycheck to her mother, who has saved enough to pay for her younger brother's schooling. She will tell you that this city, for all its noise and difficulty, gave her something that her village could not: possibility. Talk to an old fisherman in Cox's Bazar who has worked the same stretch of sea for 50 years, who knows the tides by feel, who can read the color of the water for what it holds beneath. He will tell you that the sea is not a place he goes to, it is a place he belongs to. Talk to a young student in Dhaka, one of the hundreds of thousands who flood the university district every year with their ambition and their late-night arguments about the future of their country. She will tell you, with the particular conviction of someone who has not yet been disappointed enough to stop believing, that Bangladesh is not finished, that it is only beginning. The answer to why people stay is not one answer. It is many. It is the soil and the river and the fish. It is the family that will always take you back. It is the tea stall where you have sat every evening since you were a child. It is the sound of the call to prayer before sunrise that you have known your entire life. It is the food that tastes like home because it is home. Bangladesh is, above all else, a place that asks for endurance. And its people, from the river chars of Pola to the forested hills of Chittagong, from the tea gardens of Sylhet to the crowded alleyways of old Dhaka, have always given it. This land holds 170 million lives, and not one of them is simple, but each of them is extraordinary. This is Bangladesh. If this journey moved you, drop the word Bangladesh in the comments below. It tells us this story found the right audience, and if you want to travel further with us, there is a world still left to explore.